waiting for. Please welcome the Pelbros Podcast.
Yo, what up? It's the Pelbros here.
Yeah.
It is good to be back. It has been a while since we uploaded a podcast. Almost 2 months now. So bringing you episode 17 of the Pelbros Podcast. Myself, James, if you haven't forgotten, and I've got our co-host on the line here.
Chicka, fresh, Ryan. Tuning in. What's
so
up, man?
If you've missed us, if you've enjoyed our content, definitely check us out on Instagram. Hit us up at Pelbros, and you'll find all your needs. But yeah, not to say that we haven't been hustling or grinding during this 2-month break. We've been dishing out a lot of YouTube content.
Tell him, son.
If you've been waiting on the podcast, been waiting on the next episode, you've been like, damn, where are these guys? Check out our YouTube channel because we've been dropping some really, really good content on there.
Bombs, son, bombs.
I think we're blowing up harder on YouTube. I don't want to snitch, but we're blowing up harder on the YouTube than we are on the podcast.
Yeah, true. If anything, as of right now, because it's technically like an off season right now. If anything, we're blowing up more on YouTube than we are on Instagram. And if you guys have been following the podcast for ages, I've every time you guys are listening to me, I'm saying, yo, Instagram is blowing up. Now it's the other way around. YouTube, it's blowing up. So go on YouTube, type in Pelbros, right? Pelbros Podcast, whatever you want to do, and find us. And just press subscribe. You know, we don't really care if you click that like ring notification. If you really are that dedicated of a fan, sure, right? But if not, that's cool too, baby. That's cool too.
Yeah, so for this episode, we're pretty much in the thick of it, almost at mid-October. The season's almost ended. Just want to preface that, we're going to be probably uploading this tonight or even maybe tomorrow. But this would be potentially the end of the season with the Lakers and the Heat currently in the NBA Finals, 3-1, and the game about to start in about 30 minutes. So just wanted to provide a bit of context so that people don't think that we're late to the party or anything. For this episode, we're just going to get into a bit of a season recap of, some of our thoughts around how the season went, the bubble, the playoffs, and kind of our thoughts on all things basketball. But yeah, before we get into that, I think, Ryan, you had a bit of a story you wanted to tell us.
Shit. I know you guys have missed it, Storytime with Ryan DW, but I guess now's the time. So yeah, man, I was hitting up James the other day, right? I woke up with a sweat and shit almost, right? Basically, I had a crazy fucking dream, and it actually involved the Pelbros. Like, don't think, Pelbros is it's like I have like the saddest existence in the world. Like, Pelbros is like my one and only fucking thing I do in my life and shit like that, right? Like, I got other things going on for my life, believe it or fucking not. Anyways, that's not the fucking point. The point is that this is the very, very, very first time Pelbros was in my fucking dream, right? I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, I'll tell you how it went down. Basically, I don't know what the situation was. It could be, we had like 1K subs on YouTube or some shit. Maybe it's like,
celebration.
Maybe it's like we're flying out to NOLA. I don't know. Some shit is going down, but there was a reason. And like the reason was like, me and James, we were like celebrating, right? We were actually throwing like a huge ass Pelbros like house party, right? It was the best way to say it was pimping, right? I remember I was inviting fucking everyone, like people that I haven't even talked to in years, like from our school and shit. I'm not gonna say the names, to not dox us, but even I told James these names. He's like, dude, I haven't heard that guy in ages, right? So like my memory was digging deep, right, at all these different names. And obviously we got the guys, right, and then we got my current boys and shit. But the main thing, son, is we got the honey sorted too. You know how it is, bro. Pelbros, ain't no party if ain't no honeys. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, what we're trying to do here, bro? Like, what we're trying to celebrate, what's it called? The Lakers or something like that? We're trying to celebrate Boston Celtics? No, mate. We're here to celebrate New Orleans, right? New Orleans equals honeys, if you guys have forgotten, right? Anyways, I'll get back to the story. So the story was that at the beginning, I can't remember exactly what it was, but me and James were organizing this freaking huge ass bitchin' party, right? And I'm like, all right, sweet, let's get it sorted. So I kind of have to fuck off to, run errands to come back to the house and actually get the party going, right? So I remember the one thing I had to do was I dropped by KFC. I got like shitloads of buckets of chicken. So that's already, you can already tell I'm dreaming here, right?
That's already a good dream.
Yeah. But the best part, right, is then after that, I actually got myself into an encounter with some female, right? I can't remember exactly what was going on or some shit. One thing or another, I'm at the next door of where the house party is with this female, and I'm like, what's going on, shorty, and shit. You know, obviously me, I lay down the game IRL in real life. I lay down the game in my dream. It's the same shit. Dream, reality, same shit to me. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm always laying down the game. So I'm like telling this shorty, yo, what's up, girl? What's da-da-da? Basically, you know, we're getting into it a bit. We're getting a bit freaky, and then I wake up. So that's how it went down. So it's a shame that, you know, I didn't get to see it through with that chick. But it's the biggest shame is that I didn't get to come back to the party, because I remember James was giving me a call like, yo, where you at? Where you at? Like, bro, it's going off, bro. You should come. And I'm like, yo, just give me a sec, bro. I just gotta bust this nut. But yeah, so, so that was me a couple of days ago, bro, in the dream world. Yeah, so I just wanted to, you know, I felt it was very relevant for this podcast, especially because, like I said, like how James said, sorry, is that we haven't recorded an episode in fucking ages, right? So if anything, bear with us a bit. You know, we're just shaking off the rust a bit, you know, trying to get back in the rhythm of things. And yeah, what better way to start it than this fucking crazy dream I had, eh?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're looking into the future. It's not even a dream. So that's
True,
when
true.
we've gone famous and we're throwing like a party for ourselves.
True. And yo, for you guys listening in right now, we won't forget you guys. Just send us a DM or, you know, holler at us, pelbrospodcast@gmail.com. Send us your love, send us some questions, anything, topics, you know, questions, you know, shit you want us to discuss, even hate mail, fucking come at us. We'll love you guys, all you guys. So, you know, the sooner you guys hit us up, the sooner we will remember to invite you to this pimping party when it comes.
Yeah, for sure. We always remember our true followers.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just get stuck into the episode. So yeah, like I said earlier, we haven't uploaded in about 2 months. The last episode was actually towards the end of the season for the Pelicans. And that's when our season, I guess, came crashing down. And we kind of failed in the bubble, went 2-6, and yeah, our season completely ended, and then we sort of dropped off on the podcast as well. So we're just going to pick it up from there, and we're just going to kind of go through our thoughts on a bit of a season recap, maybe just generally across the season, as well as more specifically in the NBA playoffs. I think quite a few key things to talk about out of the playoffs. Ryan, do you have any thoughts you want to get stuck into it?
Sorry, I got food in my mouth. You start.
Yeah, I'll start. I'd say, you know, let's just talk about, I guess, the experience with the bubble. I won't go too much into the full season. Check out our YouTube video on the Pelicans season review.
Yeah.
We just dropped a more kind of general and more specific thoughts around how the Pelicans went. We gave it a rating and kind of all the movement and why the season kind of failed. But, you know, for the rest of the season, the NBA playoffs continued. We've seen a lot of kind of storylines come out. This has been a pretty interesting overall playoffs, I'd say.
Yeah, true.
For myself. You know, I will say that my general interest has kind of wavered as we've gone through the playoff bracket. So just kind of reviewing what happened. You know, throughout the West, we saw the Lakers and Rockets advance and then as well as Denver and the Clippers. And we all know what happened in that series where you know, the Clippers choked it.
That was disgusting, bro.
Denver and Lakers met in the conference playoffs, and now they're in the finals. And then on the East, you got Milwaukee and Miami, as well as Boston and Toronto in the semifinals, and then obviously Miami and Boston meeting in the conference finals. So
hey, you're forgetting about the most important one of them all, mate. TJ Warren, right? The what's it called? The bubble MJ, right? Getting swept by Miami actually in the first round.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I'll just quickly go and just for myself at least, you know, I was a lot more interested in the Western finals. I will say that I here and there I flick through the Eastern Conference final games. But I will say that for myself at least, I feel like as the stages have progressed, I've gotten, you know, a bit less interested in watching the games.
Yeah, that's true.
If I'm being honest. So, you know, we saw great games out of Denver and Utah. The Clippers and the Mavs series was actually really interesting as well as the Houston and the OKC series. But then over time, you know, who really wants to watch the Lakers beat the Portland, and then who wants to really watch them beat the Rockets?
Or Denver Nuggets, also, to be honest, or even fucking Miami Heat at this case too. That's actually, just so you guys know, it's like Saturday, like around noon for us in Sydney, right? It's a nice fucking sunny day. The thing is, the potential last game of the NBA Finals is actually starting to play right fucking now. However, that's what we're trying to say. We actually do not give a shit. That's why we're recording this episode right now, because we don't want to see that. Like Miami Heat, I've got too much respect. I don't want to see them in that light, you know.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Miami Heat. They worked really hard to get where they're at.
Jimmy Butler,
But
my boy.
I'm assuming this is the Lakers championship. So congrats on them. Congrats on AD finally winning his chip.
Oh, no, not to AD. I only give my congratulations to Rondo. That's it.
Yeah, congrats to Rondo. Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. I started watching the first few games of the finals, where the Lakers easily won game one. Jimmy B came back with a massive game shortly after, but it just hasn't been as interesting. Haven't been as interested in just watching what I thought would be pretty much a clean sweep.
Yeah.
The Lakers are quite, in my opinion, the Lakers are easily, the Miami Heat are easily outmatched by the Lakers.
Yeah.
Just the way that they play. They don't have many big men they can use. Bam was injured. Goran got injured in game one.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's just unfortunate about the injuries, to be honest.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it could be a lot more interesting. It could actually be a series, but yeah.
Losing both your stars early in the series, kind of sucks in the situation they gave. But, I will say that, ironically, I was actually a lot more interested in the conference finals and the semifinals.
Yeah.
The Boston-Toronto series looked like it was going to be an easy sweep until Toronto came back in game 3 with that crazy...
Oh, yeah, that last-minute OG Anunoby freaking thingo, right? 3, I think it was.
Yeah, and that completely changed the tide of the series.
Yeah,
and
I was going for Toronto.
Raptors started making a comeback, and that was actually an awesome series. And then the Miami-Boston series, although it only went 6 games, it looked like they were constantly back and forth. Boston didn't play too well in the last few games.
Marcus Smart, bro. Marcus Smart, man. Marcus Smart is actually the person who won Boston that semifinals versus Toronto, to be honest. I'd say that's all I can say when it comes to Celtics. Obviously Jason Tatum, we us ourselves, we would love to have Jason Tatum. I know you like Jaylen Brown. I'm still Jaylen Brown is good. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I don't necessarily like him, if that makes sense. But Jason Tatum is I fucking love Jason Tatum. But the thing is that I don't love him because we got BI instead. So it's just there's no point of, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm just okay, nah. But out of Boston though, Marcus Smart, that's the man. That's how I see it.
Yeah, Marcus Smart definitely just proved how valuable he was in that series.
Yeah.
In all the playoffs actually.
Play after play.
Yeah,
he's like Kenrich Williams on roids.
Actually good, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, hey, he's gonna listen in, bro. We're gonna lose our subscriber.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, it feels like, at least for myself, I feel like there's a bit less hype going into these playoffs. I will say that although the bubble was quite enjoyable without a crowd, I actually will admit that I feel like the playoffs isn't quite the same without the crowd atmosphere and the vibe. As much as you get the really hype plays, you just don't get that kind of crowd reaction and that crowd fandom. It's just not the same when they pan to guys on the bench jumping up and down looking ridiculous. So while this was great during the bubble games, it's actually been I reckon it's been a big factor for myself in not watching. And then also, there's a few other things like there's a lot of fouls being called.
Fucking serious.
The broadcast is absolutely terrible. The ads suck. But we'll go into that in a bit more detail in probably the next episode or one of the future episodes when we talk about the NBA ratings decline.
Yeah, true.
I won't spoil too much, but
we will give a little hint though. Like LA Clippers fucking choking, right? That probably does do a big number in terms of the Western Conference Finals was Lakers versus Denver Nuggets. Who the fuck cares about that? It wasn't the Battle of LA that we were all hoping for it to be. So that's probably a big factor too. Well, that's a little hint.
Yeah, true. That's actually a really good point about narratives and stuff. Which I talked to a guy recently on Instagram about, and how like you said, this year was all about narratives about the Battle of LA, about Giannis redeeming himself for last year.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, all these kind of narratives that didn't even really pan out. They didn't happen. Clippers choked it.
Yeah, the only thing is that Denver had that 3-1 comeback again and again. That's the only kind of real narrative you can take away, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. I think after the Clippers lost, it was definitely the narrative became, LeBron's probably going to win his chip. Who cares who comes out of the East? They probably expected either Boston or probably Miami.
Yeah.
But overall, I think yeah, what are your thoughts on this season and maybe even the playoffs in
All right.
general?
All right. So overall, the season. Okay, if we're talking about the Pelicans, right? Like obviously we've already discussed this in that little video we dropped on YouTube, Pelican season review. But if we're talking about the Pelicans, this season was definitely way better than last season. Last season was like a throwaway season for us, right? But if we're talking about the playoffs, I don't. Okay. The only kind of thing I like about this playoffs is seeing like Jimmy buckets, prove the league what's going on, right? Like who's the man, right? However, last year's playoffs was fucking hectic. Kawhi, what he did with Toronto, that was fucking amazing. So I'll definitely have to say last year's playoffs was a lot more. I was actually watching the games, and it could be the entire thing about it's in the bubble. There's not really crowds and shit like that. But honestly, I think it's just like you said too, just the matchups. It's not really worth my time. Really, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree in a sense. And for myself, as much as you're seeing greatness, who wants to see the Lakers and who wants to see LeBron James, play another finals?
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows what's going to happen with the next season? But overall, I think it's definitely been a unprecedented season.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, we definitely. I think for myself, once the Pelicans were out of the picture, all motivation was mostly lost, and didn't really have a team to back. Didn't know who to root for.
I was just always going. I was going for Portland in the first round. Oh yes, they got that game, and then that's it.
Yes, I think the same. I think I saw Portland win, and I was like, damn, I want Portland to win. I saw Houston win one of the games, and I was like, mate, come on, Houston, beat the Lakers, and then they couldn't pull
Obviously
through.
not. They can't do shit.
As much
the
as
two biggest chokers in the league are in the same team. What the fuck's gonna happen? Obviously, they're gonna fucking choke in terms of Harden and Westbrook. But continue, yeah.
Yeah, no. As much as I like the Miami team, seeing those guys succeed.
Yeah,
they're just not the Pelicans. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not who you're rooting for. So
I was gonna say though, going off of that, right? I actually had this thought. What if, right? Like Brandon Ingram, all the young core of the Pelicans, right? They're seeing what this Miami team is doing, right? They're seeing like, oh shit, this is what a team looks like. What if like they're just sitting in their cribs and shit, and they themselves are getting inspired by that Miami Heat team? What do you think about that,
mate? I bloody hope so.
Yeah, right.
I hope it ignites a fire in their
yeah,
in themselves to kind of just know that they can win and know they can do it. There's some conversations I've heard from podcasts and stuff where people talk about how not all players watch the games.
You listen to other podcasts? What's going on here, man? I thought,
it's research on the competitors. It's not betrayal. It's not betrayal.
I was just about to have to like close shop right there, bro. Because I was like, I thought I was the only one, Like, what's going on? No, continue.
Yeah, but there's definitely some chatter about how not all players watch the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to think that guys like Zion, Bi, Lonzo, definitely be checking out the games, being inspired by. Mate, if Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson can light up in the playoffs,
the guy from Jimmy Neutron, right?
Yeah. The side character.
Yeah.
There's surely a Bi, Zion. They're surely looking at that saying, I can be that guy. I can be even better than those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely big things to come whenever next season comes, if it does come.
True, that is the question.
But yeah, I think any other thoughts to share?
Not necessarily about the thing, but I just want to kind of like go off of what we were just talking about. Because we did mention this just before we started recording, but I think now's a good time to actually bring it up about what's it called. Apparently, Drew Holiday won just recently the Teammate of the Year award or something.
Yeah, so Drew won a Teammate of the Year award that was, I believe, voted by the players.
Yeah.
So not sure exactly how the voting system works. But clearly someone, whether it's on the Pelicans or whether across the league, recognized his leadership and his efforts as a teammate. So massive congrats to Drew. Well earned, well deserved.
Yeah. I mean, we may as well give it a little applause, eh?
Yeah, I only got one hand, so.
Oh, yeah, true. We don't want to... Okay, basically this guy is a bit disabled right now, but don't worry, guys. It's only for another week or so, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's probably the only award that, apart from BI's MIP, obviously with Drew getting snubbed for all team defense, this is something that he can I guess, treasure for this season. It was a rough season, but yeah, I think that's well earned and well deserved from him.
Yeah, the reason I bring you, like, okay, first off, I'm just like, what the fuck, like, where the fuck does this even come from? I didn't even know it existed until you mentioned it to me, the teammate of the award thing. But why I even bring that up is like, hey, like we got our young core. These guys are watching, what these Miami Heat guys are doing. Like, they're putting in the work, they're getting the results to get themselves all the way into the NBA Finals, right? There's that, and that's just all from work, right? That's just all from being a proper good team. So imagine our boys seeing that. JJ Redick, who actually, was working side by side with Jimmy Butler in Philly, right? Probably the only other competent guy on that team. And then there's that, and then what do you call it? And then we got, like you said, the teammate of the year, the reigning teammate of the year in Drew Holiday there. Like, guys, let's work it out. Let's fucking, let's get the ball rolling. Let's fucking, like, what's going on? What's going on? That's all I can say, right?
Yeah, I mean, a bigger question will be, I mean, this is probably a whole nother episode or a whole nother video, but the big question is whether JJ will be here next season.
Oh, yeah,
it's a real question. I mean, while we're ticking off some quick news stories and doing a bit of housekeeping, there was JJ was recently on the All the Smoke podcast. And some of the stuff he said, obviously the quotes get taken out of context, but he just basically said some very general stuff like, oh, New Orleans is great. I've loved to live. I loved living there. I loved the teammates. He even said one of the things he was thankful for was being able to be friends with Drew.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, that quote and stuff, taking it out of context, looks like he's kind of not really saying that he's going to be here next season, or he doesn't know what his situation's going to be. So yeah, a big topic could be what happens with JJ, whether we trade him, whether we keep him, and then obviously the story about what happens with the coach. We haven't fucking hired a coach, so.
Oh yeah, true. That's and yeah, we already lost Doc Rivers, right? To Philly. That's quite interesting.
Yeah. So we have no idea what's going to happen, but probably big things to come for next season. Definitely some decisions, some roster decisions to make as well. But yeah, who knows what will happen.
So I guess that kind of wraps up like how the playoffs kind of went down. What else are we going to talk about on this fine Saturday morning, sir?
Not much. I think we pretty much wrapped up everything that we were going to discuss.
Wait, is this actually going to be the shortest episode of like Pelbros history right now?
Potentially, yeah.
Wait, no. Surely we could think of something. Wait, no. Hold on.
Wait, what's wrong with making it short?
No. What? End of season. All right, I don't know. Like, watch our shit on YouTube, I guess. Okay, like, should we at least tell them like what the fuck? I don't know. Like, what we got planned? I don't know. Like, something. We like 5-10 minutes or some shit like that. Let's fill the air.
What we got planned? Yeah, so we got a lot of content coming out soon and planned.
Yeah.
So we actually got it scheduled in. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. That's where most of the content will drop. So I don't want to spoil too much, but we've got a lot of top 5 games coming up soon. We got a favorite moments of all time. Favorite moments of the season for the Pelicans coming up.
Yeah.
And then we'll be doing a lot of work on Instagram, keeping the channel alive. And then we'll be dropping a few more podcasts coming in the future. So like we said, NBA ratings decline will be coming soon.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss that as a topic. And what else we got here?
I was gonna say, just today I'm gonna upload the that entire Drew Holiday. Is he underrated or is he overrated? Video.
Yeah, so that will be on YouTube, won't it? So yeah.
Yeah, so
check
by
us
the
out
time
there.
by the time you guys are listening in for this, it will probably be out, and if it isn't, it'll be out within the next 24 hours. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, I reckon that's it.
Yeah, shit.
I reckon we can call it.
Wow, I mean, well, I guess fucking cheers to like the shortest fucking Pelbros episode so far. Maybe this is a sign for the next season. Like as in. When the next season starts, maybe we're going to be more professional. It's just going to be like bang, 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 pump it out. Quick 20 minutes, quick 30 minutes. Because I know all you guys got like no attention span. So, if anything, that's how we're going to start blowing up. People are going to be like, oh, those guys are so sick. Like, I hate listening into these 1 hour episodes, but these 20-minute episodes, it's so fucking good. It's like perfect for my fucking attention span, which I don't have.
Yeah, that's why our YouTubers are blowing up, because short form content.
Hey, there you go. We're cracking the code, guys. We're cracking the code. So that's the thing. Check us out on YouTube. Pelbros, obviously. pelbrospodcast@gmail.com. Send us, send us shit. You know, don't be shy if you don't want to email us because it's a bit too formal. At Pelbros, DM us. It's all G. On Instagram, obviously that is. So even if you don't want to DM us, follow us. It's all G. Pelbros. What can I say? Like, you know, we've already sussed out all these different other guys that are dishing out Pelicans content. We don't want to disrespect. I mean, they like, you know, for what they do it good, right? But I feel as if we're kind of combining all these different kinds of fucking mediums to like create an experience that almost transcends the medium, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that like no one else is doing what we're doing, right? You get what I mean, right? Like, James, like if someone is actually engaging with us on Instagram, watching our shit on YouTube, listening to these podcasts, right? And just contacting us too, right? That's like a completely different kind of experience that you can get online, which no one else can dish you, right? Because everyone else is just like, okay, straight YouTube, here's some Pelicans content on YouTube. Everyone else is just straight Instagram, here's some, you know, content on Instagram. No one is like full putting it all together, and then after putting it all together, putting that like little magic touch, right? And on top of that too, no one else has this fucking sexy Aussie accent that we do. So there you fucking go.
Yeah. Check us out on your channel of choice because we're everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up. I think you just rambled the next
I told you I was trying to get 10 minutes here, bro. But yeah, let's keep it a 20-something minute episode. And yeah, peace to these suckers.
Laters.